everyone. Welcome back
Mhm.
to the Conscious Spirit podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here. We have actually been here for about an hour and a half.
Probably, yeah.
Yes. And just talking and finding all kinds of things to do. And all of a sudden, I don't remember which one of us said, "Ooh, bypass much?"
I think it was you.
Was me.
Yeah.
Miss Innocent over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've totally been bypassing. And so then
Yeah.
we were thinking, well, why? Why is it that we're bypassing? What is it that we're not wanting? Because we love podcasting. We really, Mondays are typically our days for podcasts, sometimes Sunday, but and we love it. And today was just rough. Sometimes we get on and we might be here for an hour before the podcast, but we're actually talking about the podcast. And what do we talk about? And we kind of go
right. Today, we didn't even mention it.
No, we were going every which way to get away from it.
Everywhere.
Yes.
All the way around it.
Yeah. So we just came down to, and this I know was you that said, it's about personal growth.
Right. Yeah.
And because we're kind of like, what are we here talking about? What is the purpose? Where do we go? And it's personal growth.
And to grow, there has to be a certain amount of healing that happens. Has to have healing in order to expand. We have to let go of the old in order to bring in what's new. And sometimes we have some really difficult decisions in that also.
And for a lot of reasons, it is more just out in the open now, everyone's sort of brokenness. And we're really projecting it on other people. Like, if you can't agree with me,
right,
then I hate you and you're the devil and you're something horrible and I can't be friends with you. You know, like, it's really out there. So I don't remember that as a child. Do you? Growing up, even teenage, 20s, like of course there were people that you didn't agree with, but now I think with the internet and all the access to
the constant barrage of information, of the exchange of ideas, we are like bombarded. And if you think differently, hold on to your hat, man, because the storm is coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can say so much now online behind a fake name, behind a whatever.
Sure.
You can do all that and people don't know who you are. Right?
Exactly.
And let's just say it, the big elephant in the room, it's election season and we are getting closer. And this particular 6 months or so of every election year can get rough.
It has gotten very rough over the decades.
Yeah.
The amount of the amount of hate that is perpetuated, that is being sold, across the board.
Yep. We're not talking about one certain party. Some of you out there, they're saying, oh, but the other side does it way more than my side. We would encourage you to take a breath and really think about it, because politics is not played nicely. So both sides are doing the same thing. It's just, if you agree with one side more than the other, you're going to sort of stand on that side and say, well, yeah, we might do that, but this side is really bad, or, whatever. Like, there's excuses. And But we've all, Mari-Lyn, when you and I were growing up, people didn't talk politics, religion. We didn't talk about it. That was your personal business.
Yes.
We didn't talk about it. And
the only time I think religion was discussed was if you were in church and you talked to the people of church.
Yes.
But outside of that, no, it really wasn't talked about.
No.
Politics,
it didn't matter.
No. Politics was really only discussed during the news.
Sure. And even that, there wasn't now you can clearly, if you want to listen to only one side's opinion, you know what channels to go to. You want to listen to the other, you know what channels to go to.
Right.
Back then, it wasn't like that. You didn't know.
Well, you didn't have that many choices.
You didn't, but you didn't know. You'd watch the news. And you really didn't know which way they leaned or who they were voting for. They didn't talk about it. It was just the facts. And
just
that's both good and bad.
And that's the way it should be, in my opinion, because we rely on the media to educate us, not to persuade us.
Right. Yes. And it's gotten just horrible. So if you are someone who has given up friendships because of this, or maybe someone else has walked away from you because of your political beliefs or whatever.
Or spiritual beliefs.
Yeah. Now I know that one certainly quite well. But I would encourage you to really think about that. And before you knew that about the person, how did you feel about them? Did they really change so much by telling you their belief that now you just can't stand them? And don't we all want people to sort of overlook certain things about ourselves to just get along? Like, can we grant that to people and to ourselves? Like, okay, I am not really the sum of all of we are in a way a sum of it, but you don't know why someone's voting for someone. You don't know why someone chooses that particular church or that spiritual belief. And can we not let them have that? Can we not say, you know what? I have respect enough for you and for myself to let that go. Maybe let's just not talk about it. Let's just not go there. And I think we all have people in our lives where we just don't go there. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's become like you have to tell everything, or it's not. It's like, what are you talking about? Like there's some things that are personal and that are me. And every one of us does something that someone else doesn't like. Do you constantly want to be judged by that one thing?
Right.
That's not all of who you are.
No.
Mari-Lyn and I have many, many differences. And we just focus on what we have in common and our loves. And once in a while, the other stuff creeps in, and sometimes we'll talk about it, and sometimes we'll go, yeah, no. There's a look that Mari-Lyn gets on her face, and I go, oh, oops, I stepped over that line. Okay, let me back out of the room, and let's go to something else now. Or I will just ask her, I need to vent for a moment. Can I do that? And she'll say yes, even though what I'm venting on, she might agree with, and I don't, while I'm venting. But we care enough about each other that she just she probably plugs her ears, but listens to me because I'm a friend and she holds space for me as I'm venting through that. Sometimes a vent is just a vent.
Yeah. I would like to think that I have never said, yeah, go ahead and vent, and then shot you down.
No.
for whatever it was you were venting over.
Right.
There's I will be as transparent as I can. There are many topics of the world, current events, different topics that I do not get myself involved in.
Right.
I stay very ignorant on certain things.
Right.
Because it's too painful.
Right. Yes.
As much trust as I have in spirit, as much knowledge as I have in energy and the ability to separate and to know what's mine and to know, there are times when all that goes out the window.
Yes.
And the conditions of humanity are just too much.
Yeah.
And so I choose to protect myself from that.
And then here comes Pam, who gets all fiery and emotional about it and pissed off. And it's really hard for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that look, or usually it's that before you say something. I recognize it before you say something. And then
there's times I don't even realize that I've gotten that look.
Yes.
Right. Until you tell me. And then it's like, shit. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I am able to,
yes,
to hold space and allow you to express yourself.
And I hold space and allow you to think your dumb opinions. So, it works both ways. But that's what friends do. I would miss out on this absolutely amazing friendship if I cut her off because of some things that she thinks differently than me, And she's dumb. So, I just have to be okay with it. I just learned that she's just a dum-dum. So I have to just, but not at all. I appreciate that she has her opinions and they differ from mine. And dumbass. Yeah.
I'm dying over here.
But we would, if either one of us decided, because and to be honest, there are some, some political things that we are very opposite on.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love you anyway.
Yes. Yes. And she loves me anyway, even though I'm the idiot at this. Even though I'm the dumbass. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We are missing out on so many amazing people and amazing experiences and thought-provoking. So, speaking of that, I'm cutting myself off. I was watching something and they were talking about the way our brain works, and it's how hard it is. Once we believe something, we hear something, we tend to believe it, right? And then to get us to change our mind on that is really difficult. Like, our first response is almost always to say, no, that's not right. I'm right, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we see that a lot. And if we could start just saying, okay, that's my first reaction, but then pulling it back and go, wait, maybe there is something here for me to look at. We've certainly, politically over the years, I have changed sort of. I think the parties have changed so much, they've left us.
Yes. I'm going to say, have you really changed? Or has the party around you
Yes.
shifted?
Yes, very much.
Because I know for me, that's absolutely the case.
Yes. Yes. But even so, I'll stick with what
their ideas got dumber.
Yeah.
My brilliant ideas have stayed the same, but their dumb ideas have gotten
but even with spiritual stuff, I can't tell you how many times, and we've done it on the podcast right here for everyone to see when we go, oh, wow. Like, yeah, I believe that. And now it's something different. And to be able to let your ego go.
Like,
stop holding
like setting intentions.
Yes. Yes. The perfect one.
That's like a little embarrassing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And at the same time, that's growth.
It is.
That is growth. When you can allow yourself to see something in a new light, in a new perspective, and say, oh, wow. Okay, I can see where that worked or didn't work.
Right.
And I can see it in this new light, in this new perspective. And I think I'm going to let it go now.
Yes. And I can speak for myself. I listen to everyone else on that. I listen to, everyone from the time I can remember sort of starting this, being more in this spiritual realm.
Yep.
I listened to everyone and I just took it for, yep, that's the way it is here, and there are other things that I did not do that with, as Mari-Lyn knows, because there are things that come up. People say oh, I learned about this. And it's like, oh, that's stupid. But there are other things like intentions I just grabbed a hold of, and that's just the way it was. Well, it wasn't. And I allowed myself to think outside the box.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful. There's another one. Grateful, appreciate.
The whole gratitude thing. Yeah. I now can see gratitude in a totally different light. And it's so interesting since we did that podcast. There have been certain things and I go, wow, I'm so grateful for that. Okay. Is grateful really the right word?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, no, it's not. It's just became part of this. Okay, I don't know if this is the right vernacular.
Sure. I'll take it.
That is just another word that's gotten overused and importance put on it that doesn't belong there.
Right. And changing your mind is not a fault or a weakness.
No.
It is truly a sign of what? What is it?
Growth.
Growth.
And it depends on why are you changing your mind? Are you changing your mind because you're learning that it's different for you now?
Yes. Yes.
Because we grow out of things. We change. We're not the same people that we were a year ago,
right?
5 years ago, 10 years ago.
And I'm going to add to that, when you're in, say, a friend group and everyone has a certain belief, being able to speak to that group and saying, you know what? I think I changed my mind. That could be super scary.
Oh boy.
Super scary. Or you don't even it never occurs to you to change your mind because that's what everyone thinks. Well, you're talking about a few people, really. The billions of people on this planet, it's okay to change your, just because there's a group think there, you can change your mind. You don't have to go along with the group think.
Absolutely.
And I understand that sometimes we don't even, like intentions, like Greg, didn't even realize I was group thinking there. I really didn't. It didn't occur to me. But I was. I just took it as gospel. That was it. That's what you say. That's what you do. And even now with the setting intentions, I'll go to say it. I set the intent. Oh, like, wait a minute. No, that's, I have to come up with some different verbiage. But I do, because it's such a habit after so many years. And so that was total groupthink. And I'm sure there are people that aren't going to like that or agree with it or whatever. And that's okay.
It is okay. And there are people out there that will still use intentions. They'll set them in the way that we've used to.
The way we've taught them.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Just because we see it differently now doesn't mean you have to.
No.
By sharing our new perspective and what we've seen, now we've given you an opportunity to choose for yourself.
Yes. And think outside the box. Does that make sense, or does that not? And I think in the comments we had a little of both.
I think so.
Yeah. And again, it's okay, and it's really, growth is the perfect word for changing your mind. It's okay to change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I would caution you, though, or not caution, that might not be the right. Look to see who runs from you. If you especially if you're in that groupthink thing, right? Look who runs from you and look who doesn't. That tells you something really about them. That's more to say about them than it is about you. Mm-hmm. If if you have people that go, okay, well, that's weird, but yeah, okay, but I still like you anyway. That says a lot. Mm-hmm. It says a lot about them.
I don't know how many people get tired of their couch.
Right.
You have the same couch.
Yep.
You sit in it for years. You loved it.
Yep.
And you look at it one day and you go, God, why did I buy that couch? I hate that.
Done it.
It's awful.
Yes, been there.
You outgrew it.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with our opinions, with our thought processes.
Hopefully.
And it should.
Yes.
It should.
And just taking,
no, go ahead. No.
Just taking other people's opinion without thinking for yourself on it is not doing you any justice. It's not, most of the time, that's what was kind of, it's like, oh shit, kind of, I'm not going to say that I went to the embarrassed piece, but maybe a little bit, because I've always been the one that pushes back, right? That's like what I do. I'm a pusher backer. You tell me something and I'm not going to just believe it for face value. I think about it, right? And I piss off my best friend all the time, but I need time to think about it. And I'm either then going to say, whatever, but what? You're thinking, why am I even friends with her? I don't understand.
No, I was going to say, she'll change the verbiage and she'll come back and she'll say it a different way.
Oh, all the time. Mari-Lyn will say something to me and she'll, the sky is blue, so blue today. And I'll go, the sky is so like, I don't know, navy today. It's like, it's the same thing. But I had to change it and make it my own.
But what's amazing, absolutely amazing, and I mean this from the depths of my soul, I had wounding around not being believed.
Yes.
And because you needed to process certain things the way I would say things, you had to process it. It really helped me heal that wounding and realize it's not always all about me.
What? Yes.
And I can still believe the sky is, navy is blue, but I can still say that it's blue and it's okay.
And it's okay. Yeah.
But that really it helped me heal that wounding, and it helped me step out of myself and allow you the room that you needed to process certain things.
Yes. Because that, and I process through my voice a lot. You guys, if you watch our videos, if you've had a session with me of any sort, you'll know that I use my breath a lot. I use my voice a lot. And that helps me move out the energy to be able to process whatever it is in there. Mari-Lyn is different. She'll use her breath, but she doesn't have to process by talking nearly like I do. And it used to be hard for you. It was hard, like, to give me a healing, because you would think she's like, I'm not sure actually what you thought, but I know it because I would constantly rework what you said, and it's just the way my brain works, the way I have to process that information to get it in there. And I've had many beautiful healings by Mari-Lyn, and I don't think she even realizes that, or did realize it, because of the way I would process. Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, beautiful ones, but it's just,
And also in that way of processing, though, it does open up my perspective. Different verbiage means different things for people.
Yes.
And to have more vocabulary around a scenario has been really helpful in advancing my healings, the way I teach.
So I do want to say, if someone's words trigger you, if you get all upset and it's their fault or whatever, really take some time to look in at yourself. If you're the one having an emotional response, you're the one that needs to deal with something. You're the one. It's not them.
Most of the time.
Their shit's their shit. But if you want to do what's best for you, go, wow, why is this so triggering to me? Why am I so mad right now?
Right. Was it the word? Was there a specific word they used that triggered you? Yeah. Was it a tone of voice?
Yes.
Was
it just someone disagreeing with you? Yes.
Right? Did they just flat out disagree?
Yes. And you couldn't handle being disagreed with. And there's a lot of wounding that happens around that. It's not just one thing. Mari-Lyn and I have both had wounding around someone disagreeing with, well, what are you saying about me? Like, like we take it very personal.
Oh, what? I'm just too stupid?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, take some time and ask, and that's all part of the growth process. That's all part of healing. And are you not tired of being upset all the time? Are you not just so sick of yourself? Like, how many times, I can't tell how many times I've called Mari-Lyn, I am so freaking sick and tired of myself right now. Like, I can't. I need a healing. I need something. I need you to help me work this out. I need whatever. When being in that constant state of being upset and everyone bothered, and it's everyone else's fault. Everyone else. It's not me. It's everyone else. And I'm constantly upset and constantly triggered. Woof.
It's exhausting, man.
It's exhausting.
And it's so self-imposed.
Yes.
And I'm not always that quick to reach out because I have to sit and wallow in it and then beat myself to a pulp. Yeah. And it's just stupid. But it is exhausting to always be mad.
Yes. To be butthurt that someone purposely hurt people. Do people purposely try to hurt you sometimes? Yes. That is a real thing. However, most of the time people are not purposely going out of their way to hurt you.
No, we're too busy dealing with our own shit.
Yes.
You.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes, sometimes that's really true. We are so involved in our own stuff that we just simply don't care who's in front of us.
And even if that person did purposely try to hurt you, you still have the choice whether you're offended or not.
Very true.
And if it does offend you, why is that offending you? Why? Matter of fact, you and I just had something recently.
We did.
Yes. Mari-Lyn and I were talking about something, and Mari-Lyn said, well, Pam, could it be this? And I said, no. And we kind of left it at that and moved on. Mm-hmm. And the next day,
I didn't give it another thought.
No, and I didn't either till the next day. And I was like, oh, hey. And then I was upset. So I just called her, texted you, or whatever I did, and just said, you know what? I disagree with what you said. Mm-hmm. I'm now feeling offended that you thought that of me, or that Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was my wounding around. I mean, I was offended. And did I need to really be to that? No, it should have just been, should have. A healthy response would have been, no, oh, okay. And then just move on. And that would have been it. But it was simmering. And that's part of a wound, because I can tell the why. I got wounded because I was constantly wrong. The youngest of 6 kids in this big, crazy ass family, I was always wrong. And so that came up. Anyway, spoke to her about it, and you were great about it. You went, oh, maybe I was projecting. And I was like, oh, okay.
First of all, I was dumbfounded. I was so.
You probably didn't remember the conversation.
I did remember the conversation. Oh. I had no idea. And the sorrow that I felt, that you were offended, was just like, and I remembered speaking it, and I remember how I felt. And I was like, oh shit. I was speaking about how I would feel.
Yes.
Absolutely speaking of how I would feel with the.
Yeah. And the great thing is we were able to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And we were each able to pinpoint our own shit in it. So I was really happy for myself, because I wasn't, it was about being jealous. I wasn't jealous at all in that particular scenario that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. But I did have to look at why I was offended. Mm-hmm. So there was healing for both of us to be done. There was things for both of us to look at and to understand, and then just let it go. Let it go from there. We didn't have, however, as we all know, when we are really still very wounded and not even working through our shit, we're offended all the freaking time. Like that scenario 10 years ago, we'd probably still not be talking, and it was a week ago. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Maybe, yeah.
I would have been so like, F her. Mm-hmm. How dare she think that I would do? That is not who I am. Blah, 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 blah. You know, it would have been an ugly mess.
Yeah, it really could have been.
And who is that serving? Like, it's just not serving anyone.
Nobody. Nobody at all.
Over it. Just get over. And the reason that I'm being so evasive on telling you what that story is, because I usually say things, is because there are other people involved who, I can't just say who they are or what's going on. That's not, we try to be very respectful of other people. And it's someone whom I really don't care for. So I don't need to be spilling the beans on her. So yeah. But yeah. Being willing to look at why you're upset, why you're triggered, no matter how big or small the trigger is such a sign of growth. And is such a sign of you're ready to heal, you're ready to love yourself, you're ready to put it in and I don't typically care for these words, but it's time to grow up. And I say that at 57. There's still times when I'm like, it's time for me to grow up. You know what I mean? Like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. Yes.
Yes. Recognizing that we're triggered versus just being pissed off.
Yes.
Because sure, sometimes there is a difference. Sometimes we're just pissed off.
Yes. Yes.
But if there's a trigger in there and being able to recognize it, you know, regardless of whether you can do anything about it in the moment. Mm-hmm. But that's huge.
Yes.
That recognition really is huge.
If you are, I'm going to say it again, if you are offended, if you are upset all the time and you're always finger pointing, it's time to start putting it yourself. It's time to start looking in. And it's such an unhappy, horrible existence. One of the reasons Mari-Lyn and I, we have tried a few times to get on TikTok, okay? And people ask us, why are you not on TikTok? It's because it's a cesspool. There are people who are just, especially in sort of the area that we would go into with this spiritual stuff, people are pissed off all the time. And they're just angry. And, you know, we just want to like heal everyone. We need some help. But
and we can't, because we can't cross people's free will.
No, we can't do anything.
There's some people don't want to heal. They don't want to feel better. And that's so sad.
Yes.
But there are so many of you that do want to feel better, and you just don't quite know how to do it.
Yes.
You just don't quite recognize. Recognizing when you're triggered is a beautiful starting place.
It's a great starting place. Mm-hmm. And allowing yourself to say, I was wrong. Allowing that the shame, the embarrassment, whatever that is that comes in. And that's why we don't, right? As soon as we start feeling like embarrassment or something, we flip it around. And
that shame hits.
Yes. We flip it around and start making excuses and turn away from it. And then we get pissed and we use anger instead of allowing ourselves the opportunity to feel that shame or embarrassment, which says you have some wounding here. And let's heal this now. And I can't tell you how amazing life, Mari-Lyn and I talked about this many times, the happiest you and I have ever been is now in our life.
Yes.
And it's all the healing that we've done.
Yes.
The massive amounts.
Massive amounts.
Especially during COVID.
Whoa. Yes. Yes. We did years, like probably a decade's worth of healing in that, year and a half that we were shut down. Were we shut down that long?
Well, we weren't, but we were supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Yes. Or it was totally shut down for a while. And then there was sort of a limit thing and there was all these different rules and everything. And
we followed
for having a physical space. What? Sorry.
We listened to Spirit's rules.
We did. Yes.
We did.
Yes. And that's when we started the YouTube channel.
Yeah. But during that time of shutdown, boy, we did a lot of healing. You know what? We've done a lot of healing since then, too.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
And I will say this because it's worth saying, those of you who want to develop your gifting, the amount of gifts that come after you heal, I can't even, there are no words for it. You think, if you are sitting there thinking how powerful you are, and I'm being honest, how powerful you are right now, try healing and see how powerful you are. I'm just saying, because it's huge. Woo. Yes. Yes.
Goosebumps. Woo. Yeah.
It really is. Spirit doesn't leave you hanging.
Okay. from the way I feel right now, somebody out there listening just got a truth bomb, and they're picking their jaw up off the floor.
Oh, yay!
Because that hit them so hard. And whether you reach out to us, you find someone else, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Healing. Oh,
yes.
It is the best decision ever. Ever.
And it may not even be, I mean, we do work with people who have therapists, like they see us and a therapist in the same week.
Oh man, that goes so well together.
So well together. Yes. And there are some people that just come to us. There are some people who just go to therapy. It's however it feels right for you. It's however you are led, allow spirit to lead you to find that way. Yeah. But yes.
I love working with someone who has a therapist. Because what we do isn't talk therapy.
Nope. No, it's not.
And when you have a therapist, you go to the therapy appointment. I've had this scenario happen.
And you've been and you've had,
and I have had talk therapy.
Yes.
Yeah. Go to the therapist, and you work it all out, and you leave the therapy appointment and you feel great. 2 days later, you are hit with whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then you have a session with me and you're like, I don't understand. I was all fine.
Yeah.
And then we can figure out where you're holding it. Energetically, we can release it.
Yep.
And sure, there's still talking involved because you have to be an active participant. You're going to work with me. You're an active participant. There's just no way around.
Believe me. Yes.
But you get that benefit, right, of that professional setting, and then of this energy setting, and you've got spirit, and oh man, it's beautiful.
And energetically, we're able to disconnect you from whatever that was, whatever that programming is, that way of thinking. And it doesn't mean all of a sudden you're just never going to think that way again. What it does is give you the opportunity to have a voice in it. Do I want to think this again? Do I not? It gives you the opportunity to be able to reason and think about it and make that choice.
And to look at, okay, I don't want to think that way anymore. But what do I think?
Yes.
What do I believe? Because I'm sorry, but there's nothing that has a two-sided, two sides to it. Nothing.
No.
Nothing is one way or this way. It's just no. So then you have that opportunity to look at all of your options and which one fits for you? Which one is, oh, don't shoot me. Which one is your truth?
Ah! Yes.
But in that scenario, that really can work.
It does work. Well, that's how it was meant to be used.
Yeah.
That saying. Yes. Oh man, the rain has cometh again. Is it hitting you over there?
No, it hasn't.
Not yet. We're a couple miles from each other. Yeah. And so sometimes it'll hit one of us and then in a minute it'll get to the other.
But it has gotten darker. So I'm going to say it'll be
coming. It's coming. It's kind of like it was earlier, that huge, like monsoon, but it doesn't last very long.
Oh.
And then also with the spiritual piece, sorry.
I was just going to say that's my favorite rain to fall asleep to.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Is spirits, we get to look at that wound, the trauma, the adopted thinking, we get to look at it spiritually, and why is it here?
Yes.
You get the why, which for me is so very healing. I don't just need to know that it happened and this is how it affected me. There really is another piece to it. There's a spiritual piece of why. There were some lessons in there. There were some things that I needed to learn. There were facets of a much bigger picture here to truly learn this, to master it. For me, that has always been a very helpful piece. Did it hit you finally?
It's here.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it's big.
Wow.
Yes. So for me, that spiritual piece really is helpful because it really opens it up to, oh, okay, that makes, there's more sense. That's for me. And that, of course, not for everyone, but a lot of you. I mean, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you didn't have some spiritual leaning or wanting to be more spiritual or so forth. So
exactly. Wow. I think it's hail.
I think so too.
I think it's hailing. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Crazy.
And we don't get like, oh my gosh, is it Texas that gets like softball size? Yeah, that just dent everything.
Man. Yeah. No, we don't get that.
No, thank goodness we don't. But personal growth, I think right now is, I really think spirit is shaking everybody up right now.
Yes.
And it's not just, we kind of, and I'm going to go back to that political piece just for a moment. We're in this thing where we need to decide, am I on this side or am I on that side? Well, really, you need to be on spirit side. You need to be on and when I say spirit, I'm talking about the all-encompassing, the soul within us, our guides, that higher consciousness, the works, everything.
Yes.
We are being asked to look at our shit. We are not meant to be in constant chaos and angry and upset. No. We're meant to come around to loving who we are. And if you are angry all the time, I'm sorry to say you have a self-worth issue that needs to be looked at. And we've all been there. So there's no judgment with that. We've all been there, especially in our younger years. And that's part of those, that is part of those younger years.
It is, absolutely.
And there's no judgment there. We were there too, like a millennia ago, but we were there. We were younger people. But that's really personal growth, I think, is really what's on the table right now. Oh, I'm going to add to that.
Yeah.
Personal growth and connections, with connecting to ourselves, connecting to others.
That connection
to connect.
Sorry.
Sorry. No.
Yeah. Oh my God, did I just interrupt you?
I'm so happy for you. I'm gonna write down my calendar. Yay! See, she's growing up.
I apologize.
No, it was awesome.
That connection to ourself is so ignored or not understood, not thought of. And it is so important.
Yes.
What I've been learning over this past, I'm going to say, really 6 months, I've learned so much about myself in that connecting to my physical body, to my emotions, to my spirit self, and my perspective on people as a whole has changed.
Okay.
Now, because I'm still learning, it is quite the process to learn how to connect to yourself, especially to connect with your physical body.
Yes.
I have learned that I need to give my body permission to sleep uninterrupted.
You know, you've been talking about that and how well you've been sleeping. Yes. And of course, I've been ignoring that and not sleeping. I'm not sure why.
And, then of course, I have this massive dose of sugar that I give her.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
And I expect her to sleep. Yeah. So, my learning curve is very, my learning curve is very,
you're learning. Yes.
I'm an old dog. It takes a while. There, for some reason that I have yet to figure out, and I will, I need to give her permission to sleep uninterrupted.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So that connection to ourselves is very broad. It's not just a simple one thing.
Right.
It can be really kind of convoluted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Convoluted is the perfect word. And while you were talking, another thing that was sort of coming through as you were talking is, we always say, sit with yourself and ask, is that really true? Is that not? One of the things that and we hear this all the time is, well, how do I know if that's spirit or whoever? And that is an absolute valid question, because our ego, like if you're, let's say, again, let's go back to that friend group, you're in this echo chamber and you want to know, is that really true or not? Is that really what I believe? Like you're decided I'm going to, is that really it? And you sit down with yourself, is that really, and you get this, yes, yes, yes. And you're like, okay, that's it. Well, your body holds memory. Your body holds that first belief. Your body says, no, you have to be in with these people. What are you going to do if you're not friends with them? Your brain says the same thing, your ego. And so those first, when you ask yourself, that could be exactly you're getting the answer that you want. And you're getting the answer that you've been believing for however long. That's going to be the first answer right out of the gate. It's going to be. So to sit through those first answers right out of the gate, allow yourself to sit through all of those until you can move those aside, and eventually, because Spirit's voice is very soft. Spirit doesn't come in like I do, like, wow. It's very soft and it's in there. Yeah.
Your point around our body holds the energy.
Yeah.
You get past that initial and you sit with yourself.
Yeah.
And go through your options.
Yes.
And how does it make you feel?
Yes. Yes.
That's the question people hate most when they're in therapy, but that really is valid. How does this option make you feel?
Yes. Yes.
How does this option make you feel?
Right. And feel that emotion. And yeah.
What's the thought process that goes? Does your brain get chaotic? Is there calmness? Is there excitement? Is there fear?
Yes. Yeah. And are there people in your life who think differently and you're able to discuss that with them or be in the same room with them or whatever it is? And I'm not talking about just if you're, at home living with mom and dad think different, because you're always going to think different than mom and dad. That's a part of growing up, is you think differently than mom and dad. But yes, get through all of that and think about it and give yourself that courtesy, give yourself that respect, give yourself those opportunities to change your mind, to find growth, to decide, I want to love who I am, and I want to know how I really believe. And I'm going to tell you this too. A lot of times you haven't guarantee you have not thought through many of the things that you believe.
Guaranteed.
You can be questioned and you're not going to have it, because that's the way I believe, because it is. If you find yourself giving those answers, you haven't thought it through. You have not thought it through at all. And it's not really your answer. You're just chirping out what your group is telling you to believe, or they all believe it. They all probably feel the same way. They don't know the why.
And they don't know why.
Yeah. They don't know the why. Yes.
So,
but that's where real healing comes from, is when you can lay out the reasons why.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just remembering, I think Spirit brought me this. an exercise that you can do to help yourself figure things out, like emotions or beliefs.
Okay.
Keywords, writing down these words, and then energetically pick it up off the page and hold it in your hand.
Ooh.
And then energetically take another one, pick it up and hold it in the other hand. Which hand is heavier? Which hand holds the weight for you?
Wow.
Which word is for you?
Yes.
And if one is, I can about guarantee you, one of them is going to be, you're going to hold on to it. And the other one, you're going to go, you cross it off, and then you pick up the next one.
Yeah.
Which is what I really believe.
Awesome. Yes.
I used to do that on the first day of every year. I would write down these beautiful words and I would go through them all until I had my word for the year. Mm-hmm. I haven't done that in a very long time, but it was always a very beautiful and calming experience to sit down and do that. And
yeah,
something's telling me something is coming up very soon where I'm going to find myself doing that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm not going to really know how I feel about something.
Yeah.
And that will be.
That's a great exercise to do.
Yeah, it really is.
After you get out all the flotsam and jetsam
yes.
And you sit there with yourself, maybe even do a meditation first. Whatever type of meditation you like, whether it's a Fred's Meds, any
Fred's
other
Meds are always fabulous.
Yes. The transcendental mindfulness, whatever. Go through that and then go to it. Don't just sit down and decide that you're going to do that first. Because your body's going to tell you what you want to hear, what you believe. It is. Yeah. It's not going to be an immediate, yeah, whatever I'm trying to say, whatever that word is. But, personal growth. I believe Spirit has always wanted that for us, but right now I think it's really revving up with all
and it is that time of year. It's absolutely the time of year where we turn inward and really start to look at, am I really who I am?
Yes.
Am I acting as the person that I truly am?
Yes.
And
is that who I want to be? Is that who I want to be?
You know, if I had to answer that question right now, which I'm kind of feeling like I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now I can say yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes, I am.
And if your answer is that who I want, if your answer is no, I want to be like this, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself that what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
There's some lessons there, there's some healing there, there's something, because if you're not standing really in who you are, there's some work to do.
There is some work
to do. It's beautiful work. It really is. It is. It can be hard going through it, but
yeah,
the benefits are a lot.
It's never as hard as the fear tells us it's going to be, though.
Yeah, very true.
And sometimes it is very difficult and it's very painful.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you that I'm going to say this though, and this is no jab to people in talk therapy. I've been through talk therapy enough in my life. My personal belief is that energy healing is so much easier than talk therapy. I'm just saying it. The amount of healing that can be done you
can only speak it so many times.
Yes, before you're sick of listening to yourself.
I can't talk about myself another minute.
Oh, I remember doing that. This is like a good place to stop, unless you.
I think you might be right.
I know. I think so. Hey, look at that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Please leave your comments. We'd love to hear from you wherever you're listening. Yes. Whether it's on a podcast app or YouTube, there's always a place for you to leave your comments or send them to us.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate.
Yes, we do.
Tuning in. Yes,
we
are
appreciate you.
tcseverydaypsychics.com. If you'd like to look at our offerings or just know more about us or whatever it is.
Yes.
Yes. We appreciate you showing up.
We do. For us and for yourself.
Yes. And we did not open space today, but
no, we didn't.
Try to remember that for the next time. Yes. Yes. All right, everyone.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.